Prime Minister Narendra Modi has embarked on his first visit to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, the invitation of the kingdom's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. This will be marking the first visit by an Indian leader to Saudi Arabia's commercial hub in over 4 decades. 6 agreements are expected to be signed, covering areas including space, energy, health and advanced technology. This visit aims to strengthen India-Saudi's strategic partnership and further the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor project. Well before departing, the Prime Minister stated that he was eager to meet the Indian diaspora in the Saudi Arabia. On that note, we'll be going over to my colleague Uday Pratap Singh, who's live from the spot. He's the editor of Newsx. Uday Pratap, over to you. What exactly is the Prime Minister set to visit Saudi Arabia? It's a major visit. What exactly is coming in?
Well, absolutely, Ria. In fact, we are currently at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Jeddah, where Prime Minister Modi will, of course, be staying. He will be landing in Jeddah, of course, shortly. And we are, of course, currently standing at that venue where, of course, the PM will be arriving in a couple of hours from now. You can see here the red carpet has been laid out. Actually, it's a purple carpet, of course. This is where the Prime Minister will, of course, be arriving. There's a lot of Indian diaspora who's also arrived here to greet him, as of course is normal this evening. In fact, before we talk about what all is on the agenda of the bilateral as well, the key bilateral with the Saudi Crown Prince and Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman, let's also join a special guest, Saudi businessman and senior consultant Ani Kayal is with me. Welcome, thank you for speaking with us today. Well, the Indian Prime Minister, of course, coming here at the invitation of the Crown Prince. What are you in Saudi Arabia expecting from this visit?
Well, as a business community, we're very excited to see relationship growing and having a strong bonds with the transfer of technology, transfer of knowledge between the two countries. And we want to show people what we have and see how can we collaborate.
Okay. As far as, of course, India and Saudi Arabia are concerned, we are learning that, issues of defense will be on the agenda, agriculture, cooperation, energy, also perhaps a free trade agreement as well. There was also talk of an India, Middle East, European economic corridor. Do you believe that's a great idea too?
Well, I mean, any idea is derived and studied well by our people. We always support and have looking forward to see how can we benefit in a business world from any agreements.
There are a lot of Indian community that lives here as well. I think they play a pretty positive role here, isn't it?
Yes, sure. I mean, development and growing of the country needs a lot of calibers, a lot of professionals. So these are the role they're playing currently and in the future.
Okay.
As well.
Normally, of course, a lot of heads of state go to Riyadh. PM Modi coming to Jeddah. How special is this? Jeddah is the commercial capital, isn't it, of Saudi?
Yes, actually, Jeddah is a very old city, 2,000 plus years old. So, and the hub of the pilgrimage, and so Jeddah has a very rooted history. Just like India, so this is important to Jeddah as well.
Yeah. A lot of people from India, in fact, come for the pilgrimage every year, the Hajj pilgrimage.
Yes, and we welcome everybody. Always, also we're expecting the World Cup, and so we're happy to have people coming to us.
Yes, in fact, that's something that Prime Minister Modi, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Mr. Kayal. Now, that's something that Prime Minister Modi, in fact, also spoke about, Ria, where he did touch, congratulate, of course, Saudi on the hosting of that World Cup that, the Saudi guest was referring to. He gave an interview to Arab News, a prominent publication here on the eve of his visit, and he's spoken, of course, about, a host of issues concerning this partnership, the direction forward that he believes it should take. He's also, of course, given a statement before he emplaned for Jeddah a short while back, this morning, of course, from Delhi.
To Prime Minister's visit, it's a jam-packed visit. Obviously, he's going to be interacting with the Indian diaspora over there, but several key agreements are also set to be signed. There's been a focus on defense trade. In terms of that, what do you think can be expected out of this meeting between the two leaders?
Absolutely. That meeting, of course, now, Ria, will be taking place later this evening. In fact, we're learning about 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Saudi local time, which is about 2.5 hours behind India, is the period that's been reserved for his engagements at the palace, which is where, of course, the bilateral meeting will take place between Narendra Modi and Mohammed bin Salman. Of course, also we were expecting a state banquet as well to be hosted tonight at the palace for PM Modi by the Saudi Crown Prince. There's also, of course, a couple of other photo ops that are going to be happening this afternoon. Senior editors will be met by Prime Minister Modi as well, sources tell us, at this very hotel where he's staying. As far as, of course, now the bilateral is concerned, yes, issues, of course, of trade, defense, energy, infrastructure, agriculture expected to come up as well. As I was saying earlier, the IMEEC was actually announced during the G20 summit, when the Saudi Crown Prince was in India for that summit, which of course we chaired. The economic corridor was announced. It's perhaps looked at as an alternative to the One Belt, One Road initiative by China. Perhaps the timelines of that will also be set out during this meeting, of course, that takes place today in Jeddah. Also, of course, a free trade agreement, we're learning, is on the cards as well. Remember, of course, the conflicts of Israel and Hamas and Russia and Ukraine also perhaps expected to come up. The Middle East playing a role in, of course, trying to bring about peace in Gaza. So perhaps that's something that will be also spoken about between the two leaders. Remember, of course, Prime Minister Modi has visited Saudi Arabia thrice since coming to power in 2014. So he shares a very special rapport with the people of Saudi Arabia, and it's so wonderful to see how, of course, this beautiful Jeddah Corniche, which you can see over here, Jeddah is, of course, the town that's on the sea. It's a port city as well. That's why it's called the commercial hub. And along this Jeddah Corniche, there are Indian flags flying as well, along with the Saudi Arabian ones. Shows, of course, how close relations are becoming between the two countries, and that is, of course, a very, very good sign. That's something, of course, that we hope will be further during this visit. Today, of course, there is that key interaction with the Indian diaspora as well in the evening between 4 and 4:30 local time here in Saudi Arabia. Also, tomorrow, sources tell us, perhaps the Prime Minister will be visiting a dates factory as well. Those are factories where a lot of Indian workers work. In fact, PM Modi, again, in a special interview to an Arab publication, had said that in India, people love Saudi dates just the way in Saudi people love Indian rice.
All right, Uday, thank you so much for joining us on the telecast and sharing your insights on that. Moving on to some other news coming in. In tot for tat move.